What's up guys, this is AK and it's that time of the year again. The iPhone 12s have been out for a while now, and this year we got to see not 2, not 3, but 4 new iPhones. Starting from the smallest, we have the iPhone 12 mini, followed by that we have the regular iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Pro, and finally the big boy, the iPhone 12 Pro Max. However, in this video, I'm only going to be talking about the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 mini, and I'll have a separate video on the 2 Pro models which may or may not be out depending on when you're watching this video. Nevertheless, I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's jump right into the review. So, right off the bat, the iPhone 12 is the easiest iPhone to recommend to anyone who's looking to buy a new smartphone. For me, at least, the screen size is just perfect. It's not too big or too small. My only complaint with the iPhone 11 display was that it was an LCD display, which to me just doesn't look as good as an OLED display like on the Pro models. On an LCD display, the contrast ratio is just not as large as on an OLED display. In simpler terms, it means you get deeper blacks on an OLED display. Also, it's harder to correct LCD displays, which inevitably leads to larger bezels, and a smartphone with large bezels in 2020 is just not something people want. Sorry iPhone SE. The good news is that this year, all the 4 iPhones have an OLED display, and gone is a 720p resolution like on the iPhone 11. Honestly, you couldn't even tell it was a 720p display, but some people are just really picky. I'm just kidding. The iPhone 11 was the best-selling iPhone last year among all the 3 models. This year, the display on the 212s is on par with the Pro models. Sweet! On the iPhone 12, you're getting a 6.1-inch display, and on the iPhone 12 mini, you're getting a 5.4-inch display, a screen almost the size of an iPhone 8 Plus, but in the form factor that is smaller than the iPhone 8 and slightly bigger than the iPhone 5s. The notch on both the iPhones is of the exact same size, so if you think about it, the notch takes up a high percentage of screen space on the iPhone 12 mini compared to the iPhone 12. For me, 6.1 inches is a great display size. It's easy to type on, fun to watch videos on, but that doesn't mean it's great for everyone. There are a lot of people out there who love small phones, and these are the people who are still holding on to their iPhone 5s's or their first generation iPhone SEs, and that's completely fine. Small phones are more portable. But the problem with smartphones today is that they keep on getting bigger and bigger, and hardly anyone is making small phones. So I think Apple took a step in the right direction by creating a phone which caters to those who still love smaller phones. However, I think most people, myself included, are going to go with the regular iPhone 12. Regardless, the display is great now that it's OLED, and I have no complaints at all. The design too has changed a bit. The iPhone 12 brings back the flat sides, which are reminiscent of the iPhone 5s design, my absolute favorite iPhone design till date. There are people who love it, and there are also people who hate it, but I've been really wanting to see this for a few years now, so I'm glad it's finally here. It feels really nice to hold in your hands, and if you use your phone without a case on, it's grippier than the previous generation of iPhones. You have aluminum sides and a glass back with a frosted glass camera cutout, just like we saw on the iPhone 11. The front of the iPhone is made up of a special material which Apple calls ceramic shield, which is apparently stronger than normal glass and makes your phone more crack resistant, so I think that's a nice addition. Also, the screen is now completely flat, unlike last year where it curved off slightly to the sides. So now it's just one metal slab. Of course, having a glass bag means you can use any cheap standard wireless charger to charge this phone. Talking about wireless chargers, no, this isn't a message from a sponsor. Apple has introduced their own brand new wireless charger with the new iPhones. If you have a wireless charger, you may have realized that in order to charge your phone, you need to align the charger perfectly with the charging coil on the back of your phone. Well, that's not the problem with the new MagSafe charger, because it magnetically attaches itself to the back of the phone and saves you all the trouble of getting the alignment right. Honestly, I didn't see this coming, but it sure is welcomed. Anyway, we'll talk more about chargers in the latter part of the video. So yes, flat sides is a great change, and it gives the phone a much better look, in my opinion. What do you think about the new design? Do you like it or do you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. The cameras on this phone are phenomenal. A 12 megapixel wide-angle lens with an f1.6 aperture, emphasis on the 1.6, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens with an f2.4 aperture and a 120-degree field of view. On the front, you have a 12 megapixel camera with an f2.2 aperture. The reason why I'm so excited for the new f1.6 aperture lens is that it allows more light to fall onto the sensor, which automatically leads to brighter images in poorly lit situations. On the video side of things, you can still shoot in 4K at 60 fps. However, what's new this year is the ability to shoot in Dolby Vision. You can now shoot in Dolby Vision on all 4 iPhones, which captures more details in the highlights and the shadows and gives you more flexibility when you're editing the videos in post. iPhone 12 is the first smartphone to have the ability to shoot in Dolby Vision, and I think this just proves how powerful the new A13 Bionic chip is, because it is not an easy task to capture all that data and process it in real time while running smartphone tasks in the background. You need some insane power for this. And thanks to the A14 Bionic, all of this can be done without a problem. The new A14 Bionic chip contains a 6-core CPU with 2 high-performance cores and 4 high-efficiency cores and a 4-core GPU. Maths. In simple terms, it means 50% faster performance than any other smartphone chip in the market right now, and Apple, as usual, is ahead of every smartphone in terms of performance. Gaming on this phone feels great. It doesn't heat up much and is really battery efficient. The iPhone 12 mini has a 2227 mAh battery and the iPhone 12 has a 2850 mAh battery. However, the battery capacity in itself is not a good indicator of how long this phone can last. There is a tiny bit of a trade-off in terms of battery on the iPhone 12 mini. However, since all the components are made by Apple, they have complete control over how the parts talk to one another, and that's why the iPhone is really battery efficient. In fact, Apple doesn't even list the battery capacity on their website and instead uses video playback hours to illustrate how long the phone can last, which is moderately accurate. If you play a lot of games on your phone or shoot a lot of videos on the phone, then don't expect the iPhone 12 mini to last an entire day. For those kind of tasks, go with the iPhone 12 or even the Pro models. Also, another thing that's new this year is 5G. All the 4 iPhones have 5G, so it's not like if you want 5G on your phone, you'll have to go for the Pro models. No. Apple spent quite some time in their keynote talking about how 5G is the next big thing, and more smartphone brands are introducing 5G to their phones, so I'm glad Apple didn't delay the implementation of 5G in their phones. There is a high chance that the area you're living in right now does not have 5G, but it will very soon, judging by the rate at which it's growing. Are there any problems with this phone? Yes, but it's not the design, not the features, but the price. I'm sure you've heard by now that Apple doesn't include a charging brick or their Lightning Earpods in the box anymore, and Lisa climbed all the way to the roof to tell us about how they're doing this to protect the environment, which is something I don't exactly buy. Apple did get praised for reducing e-waste, which is a growing problem, but from a consumer's point of view, it has made a lot of people upset. Apple frames the removal of the charger from the iPhone 12 as a move to protect and save the environment. However, this just makes shareholders more money and they need a reason to hide behind. When they manufacture lesser chargers, their profits are going to increase due to lower production costs. On top of that, assuming that only 5% of the people who have bought the new iPhone 12 add a charger and Lightning Earpods to their cart, it does nothing for the environment. In fact, it makes things worse. If you haven't heard by now, the charging cable that comes with the iPhone 12 is not a usual Lightning to USB cable, but a Lightning to USB-C cable. Think about it. How many chargers have you seen lying around your house which has a USB-C port? So if you didn't already own an iPhone, you'll have to buy a new charger anyway, which requires separate packaging and harms the environment even more. Also, as I mentioned in the early part of the video, Apple introduced a brand new MagSafe wireless chargers with the new iPhones, and it's great and really convenient. However, this too comes with a USB-C cable, so apart from buying a new charging brick, you only have the option to connect it to your Mac, which is really inconvenient. Also, earphones. Apple doesn't include their wireless earpods in the box anymore, but since more and more people are switching to wireless earphones anyway, I don't think it's as big of a problem as not including a charger. This may be a move to get people away from using the charging port, because speculation suggests that next year's iPhone may not even have a charging port, and as crazy as it sounds, it's Apple, and I see a possibility of that happening. So the question is, why does the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 mini cost about the same as last year's iPhone 11, although Apple left out some important things? I'd say there are a few factors. 5G just started making its way to phones, and it makes them more expensive since they are so complex and expensive to manufacture. I think if Apple made the new iPhones even slightly more expensive, maybe by $50, but included their charging brick and lightning earpods in the box, they would have gotten a better response from consumers. If for one moment we forget about the charger, this is a really powerful and capable phone, but the exclusion of the charger and the earphones is just unsettling. So, the final question. Which one to buy? For someone who's not on their phone all the time or doesn't depend on their phone for work and as a bonus likes small phones, then the iPhone 12 mini is the perfect one for you. For me, I like bigger phones because I do a lot of editing and like gaming on the bigger screens. That's why the iPhone 12 is the one for me. That is it for today's video, guys. Hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, drop a like on this video. I will really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and make sure to check out my other videos. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys on the next one.